Today is Thursday, August 20th. The title of this video will be named Good Will Hunting. So what I do sometimes when I'm on my YouTube channel, on my feed I should say, a YouTube short of a movie, any movie will pop up, and depending on the editing skills, it will make me want to search up the actual scene from the movie so I could watch the whole scene and understand again the context of what these people, not the same context as I'm looking for. However, the way they edit it, the shorts of the movies, of scenes, it makes you, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you'll think of the context that's not even related to the movie, if you know what I mean. So, and I'm not trying to talk shit on these YouTubers with the shorts and their editing skills, because if anything, they're probably super young and they're learning, younger than I was trying to edit, and I still don't even know how to edit. Or it's someone older who is willing to edit, which I'm not even willing to edit, so there's no room to hate. If anything, it's just how far am I willing to go for what I want in search of these answers. I bring all that up because the title of this video will be called Good Will Hunting. And that's why I explained in this first minute why the title will be called that. And it has to do with the scene from Good Will Hunting where the professor and Robin Williams' character, the therapist, they're fighting, and it becomes they begin beefing of old stuff when they were growing up and in college, and if you know the movie, you know. However, I wanted to make a video for myself in the sense that the scene where the professor and Robin Williams' character are fighting, right before Will comes into the room, and Robin Williams is explaining to the professor, like, the professor sees his friend Robin Williams as a fuck up, or as someone who failed in life by not achieving high status and goals and achievements, or whatever, however the professor sees it. Robin Williams in the scene, though, he says one line that made me put a couple pieces together. Not made me, God made me put pieces together when I saw this scene. When Robin Williams was telling the professor, as a response to all the bad things the professor's telling him about his life and how it ended up and blah blah blah, Robin Williams tells him it was a conscious choice. I didn't fuck up. And that not only put the pieces together of some of my own life experiences, put the pieces together for the movie Good Will Hunting, how Robin Williams, that's why Will affects Robin Williams' character so much. When Will talks about the painting and destroys his heart, it's because Robin Williams is Will. They had the similar background in the past with an abusive adopted father, or a real father that was abusive. And when Robin Williams tells the professor it was a conscious choice, I didn't fuck up, I realize now my whole life was unconscious choices because of the fear, the trauma growing up, and the experiences of how you make them, and having no one to go to. You believe that. So one makes themselves believe that they have nothing or no one to go to. And as you grow up and you see influences and you see other things coming up, and you still haven't found yourself, which most people really never find themselves, because once you find yourself, it's only a matter of time before you lose it. And Robin Williams, that one line, it just got me, because literally my whole life, choosing unconsciously, and then later you're like, how did I get here? What am I doing? But it's all unconscious. It's all the fear, the trauma, the programming, or whatever terms you'd like to use. I'm only using these for my own life. The fear of abandonment, which is Will's diagnosis or whatever, it's just labels at the end of the day. But I think that's the battle unconscious versus conscious choices. Doesn't even have to be choices, it could be people. But even conscious people are not, they're not, conscious people could be conscious but not be talking to God, or, know of God. Let's just say that. And I think that's also a factor in the Good Will Hunting movie with Robin Williams. He wants Will to decide for his own life what he'd like to do with this gift, and instead of seeing it as a fear of abandonment because of how special it is, or how intense, or how magnificent it is, however magnificent the gift is, there will always be fear because of how we've been treated before in our lives, and how we grew up in a world expecting certain people to give us unconditional love. But the world is pure conditions. God is the only unconditional. Infallible. I don't even want to add any more words to that, because you don't play with God. No one defeats God. Not even the unconscious defeat God. They're mindlessly headed to a road that at a certain point people can't come back from. That's also one thing I want to mention. Not even I wanted to mention in this video, but for the ones like myself who believe, if you believe where you're at now, and all the sins, vices, unhealthy habits, becoming masters with death, you think if all of that is what life is about, you are mistaken. And I'm telling that to my younger self right now, my young child in me, in my heart, because it's not worth it. It's not worth not letting it go to waste, but throwing it away, because it's like how the Bible says, burying your coin because you thought it was better to bury it than to let it go to waste. But in other words, that's basically, you think you know more of what's good for your life than what God has for yours. I buried my coin a long time ago. I buried it. It's not like I have to go back to that place where I buried it. This is all metaphorical. I don't speak in metaphors anymore. So if I do say a metaphor, I explain it the best way I know how in that moment, because I do not speak in metaphors anymore. So I don't want the video to be so long. However, if you find yourself in a place like how I find myself time to time, where you believe you can't even decide for yourself how to live your life, the secret: hold responsibility and accountability for your actions and the consequences that you're living through. That's how you get your power back. If you put your responsibility and accountability of your own decisions on someone else, you're giving your power away. Now, I will tie it all up. Why that has to do with the conscious and the unconscious choices. If you don't hold responsibility and accountability, you slowly become unconscious of who you are and the habits that are literally making you your life. Choose to be conscious. Do not let it fear you. God gave it for a reason, to show you how diverse and eternal He is, and not a cage or a box or a tombstone. God is alive. God's Son was the only perfect man that roamed this earth, and he was crucified. Why are you trying to be perfect in this world? So all that for a reminder to myself. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You're meant to be where you're at right now. If you think about all the past experiences you've been through, you'd realize that, because you shouldn't even be here right now. God still allows us to wake up in the morning with our eyes open, and we still won't allow the joy to come in. You know, in here, in here. So, little by little, day by day. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. May God bless all of you. Keep your head up no matter what. Life is too beautiful for you to miss even a second of it. So, let's keep on pushing, all right? Let's keep on going. There's nothing stopping us besides our own decisions. God isn't even stopping you. You realize that. It's our own decision. Thank you guys for watching though. See you guys soon.